Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to another Hogwarts Legacy video. Now in today's video I wanted to address one of the really big topics about this game right now, and that is when will this game come out next year? Because we know it's coming in 2021, but 2021 is a big period of time, it's 12 months. So do I expect it to come early in the year, maybe in the middle, or perhaps towards the end? And what I did was I did some research, and in this video I'm therefore going to go through that research, apply it to the current situation we have going on in the world to come out with a prediction of when I think Hogwarts Legacy will be on our consoles and available to play. So, as it's a prediction, just be wary, I could be totally wrong, things can change, like it could maybe be planned for a certain bit of the year right now, but get pushed back in the future, so yeah, it's just a prediction, but it'd be cool to kind of get yours as well in the comments and we can kind of bounce ideas off each other. So yeah, to start off, like I said, I did some research, and I started with Warner Bros. Because Warner Bros. Are going to publish this game through Portkey Games, which they actually own, I thought I'd look things up such as how much time usually passes between a Warner Bros. Published game being announced and then a Warner Bros. Published game being released, because a lot of the time publishers follow patterns, and Warner Bros. Is certainly no exception to this. So from a selection of their biggest games over the last few years, the average time between announcement and release was roughly 5 months. Now, some were a little bit below this, some were above that, but the average was 5 months, which suggests at face value that because Hogwarts Legacy was announced in September, it should actually be releasing very early next year, about February. However, as I'm sure you're aware, things have got very weird in literally every industry this year because of the situation the world finds itself in, and this is no different for the gaming industry or for Warner Bros. Either. In 2020, for pretty obvious reasons, Warner Bros. Published games have just completely fell off the face of the earth. So in previous years, there had been 5, 6, 7 multi-platform games published by Warner Bros. But this year, it looks like they'll be publishing literally just the one on the Nintendo Switch. So it's quite clear that things have been pushed back, and that norm I talked about of roughly 5 months between announcement and release of a game, that it has been a trend for Warner Bros. Published games in the past, that sort of stuff is completely out of the question right now. So we sort of have to take a different look to predict when Hogwarts Legacy will actually be released. So instead, to take our best guess at a release date, it's probably best to look at the games Warner Bros. Are known to be publishing next year and try and place each one of them, because if we can place the other ones, then that gives us a much better chance of having a window where we can sort of expect Hogwarts Legacy. So crucially, and I'm sure many of you are already aware of this, but it's important for publishers to spread out their games over a year rather than just publishing them all at once. That way the games generate a flow of income across a year, and their games don't really compete with each other for money of consumers. So it is important to spread your games across a year. Though it's a little bit different, I think Nintendo is a really good example for this because their consumer base for all their first-party titles is very similar, meaning to maximize sales, they have to carefully calculate their strategy when releasing games. So Nintendo are big on the first-party titles, as I just mentioned, meaning they publish the likes of Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, plus a ton more. So for the sake of this example, if Nintendo were only publishing new games in these series for the whole of 2021, meaning they were literally just going to publish 3 games next year, they would likely release one in the spring, probably between March and April, one in the summer, probably about July, August, and one towards the end of the year for Christmas, like October or November. Now Nintendo, though there's way more than 3 games involved, and some periods are busier than others, basically do this every single year, which stops their games competing with each other for people's money and allows them to have consistent sales of their games throughout a year. Now don't get me wrong, Warner Bros. Annually publish less games than Nintendo, and I'd argue that the people who are likely to buy these games are more varied than Nintendo's consumers are. As a general rule, I think there's a good chance you'll be interested in buying both Mario and Zelda, but probably less that you'll be interested in buying both Hogwarts Legacy and LEGO Star Wars. Now, as I said, that is a general rule and obviously doesn't apply to everybody. But however, despite this, the vast majority of the principles I described, and for the reasons of spreading games across a year and things like that, are the same. So right now we know that there are 3 big games Warner Bros. Are publishing next year, which are LEGO Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, Gotham Knights, and Hogwarts Legacy. And considering that Warner Bros. Usually publish more than 3 games each year, and that there's probably a bit of a backlog at this point because of the position of the world right now, I'd expect something else big from them at some point too. So from the logic I've just given, we know that these big releases from Warner Bros. Are going to be spread out across next year. What's interesting is that LEGO Star Wars is already confirmed for the spring, and all the noises suggest Gotham Knights will come out in the first half of next year too. It's like being teased for the longest time, and there's way more gameplay and info out there than we have yet for Hogwarts Legacy, which means that the first half of next year is seemingly like out of the question for Gotham Knights. It's surely gonna come then, and it's definitely, if you consider all of the gameplay we've already got for it compared to Hogwarts Legacy, as I mentioned, it's definitely gonna come out before that game. So what do we know then? Well, Hogwarts Legacy is therefore surely going to be in the second half of next year. Like, surely the second half of 2021, which makes sense, is where we're probably going to see this. So when exactly in this smaller period do I think Hogwarts Legacy will release? Well, I think the game would work perfectly as an early September release. I say this because the game is going to undoubtedly sell incredibly well, and a 4-month run including sales around Christmas will allow the game to generate a lot of money in the back end of 2021, and bottom line, money is what it is all about when it comes to selling video games. Also, and this is kind of for Harry Potter fans here, is that Hogwarts terms begin on the 1st of September, so releasing the game on the day would not only be fun for all of us to play, but wouldn't it be good for marketing as well? Wouldn't it be good to say, like, yeah, you really are jumping in around the beginning of September, you really are jumping in to Hogwarts with this, and I think it would help sell the game even better. It'd be great for marketing, and it just fits. So my prediction would be that this game will release in September. As I said earlier on in this video, you know, I could be totally wrong. It's just what kind of my research and also my gut instinct at the end of it thinks. But what do you think? When do you think Hogwarts Legacy will release? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you want to see another one of our Hogwarts Legacy videos, then check out the one in the box below, where I talk about things I want to see in the game, including my idea on clubs. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex, and I will see you in another video soon.